everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat. Today is Sunday, June 15th, 2025, and can somebody please tell me why I am not basking in the knowledge of the Aristotle Dumas reveal right now? Ah! Somebody enlighten me. How did this happen? Y&R said Friday the 13th, didn't they? I distinctly remember hearing Friday the 13th, and now it's Sunday the 15th, and they're all just now getting on the plane. That is unfair. Bait and switch. All week, I was geared up for Friday. And all week, I endured everyone going on and on and on and on about the mystery man and who could he be. Even Amy was going on about it, for crying out loud. She's got nothing to do with any of it. Instead of giving us a reveal, the majority of Friday's episode was even Amy jumping in wondering who Aristotle Dumas is. But I endured it. I endured it all week because I knew that Friday was the day. I was so sure that Friday was going to be the day that everything was going to be blown out of the water. And now here I am, still sitting in the water. What the heck? What the heck? But I thought, okay. Canada is one day ahead. So maybe Y&R just couldn't reveal it on Friday. Surely they're going to reveal it on Monday just so that, us Americans don't get spoiled over the weekend. Surely that's the plan. But then I see those previews at the end of Friday's show and realize we still got a train ride. And on top of it, we got to go through a maze to even get there. Oh, no. I mean, oh, yes, but oh, no. What? We still have so far to go. We've come so far, and we've still got so far to go. We've come so far. We thought Friday was it, and then we still have so far to go. Was I wrong? I heard Friday the 13th and processed it as, Friday the 13th is the big day. Everybody better tune in for that. And then it was a big nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, because I will say I want this train ride, okay? I love trains. An elegant train ride through Paris with what seems like the majority of our cast. Oh, and then a mysterious maze and a mansion set. I mean, Y&R is doing me right there. Love trains, love mansion, love gardens. This is going to be amazing. But dang it, they have dragged this thing out so long that I feel like it's lessening something that is going to be really cool. Like, this concept is really cool, the mystery, but they've just dragged it out so long, the impact is less. And the real kick in the pants about the whole thing is that the face that we see at the end of this long and winding maze is not going to be one that we recognize. Not in Y&R world, anyway. It is going to be Billy Flynn playing Aristotle Dumas, maybe a recast of Kane. I don't know. And I'm sure he's gonna be great. It's not his fault. None of this garbage is his fault. I'm sure he's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to see what he brings to the show. But after all of this anticipation, to show us a new face, no matter what, no matter if it's a recast or not, showing us a new face at the end of all of this is gonna be like, wah wah. We waited all week for a Friday the 13th reveal and got nothing. So I am going to make it up to you guys by sending you guys an email this week revealing my secret project on Tuesday. I feel like Y&R was kind of a letdown, but I'm going to boost it up. So if you want to be the first to get the scoop on my upcoming next awesome secret project, go to yrchat.com/storylines. And you can sign up for my little email newsletter, and I will deliver my big shocking reveal to you on Tuesday. I think it'll be pretty darn good. I'm pretty excited for it. Now, when you sign up for that, though, you're going to get a welcome email that gives you a telephone number where you can call or text me. And I have to say, I've really been enjoying getting those messages, the voicemails, extra voicemails and text messages. It's just kind of nice to have that direct line between us, because again, it's like, you know, you guys see me, but I don't see you as much as you see me. So it's nice to get those for Allie's eyes only messages. So if you sign up, you'll get that phone number. If you didn't get the phone number in the welcome email, it might be because, well, okay, you have to confirm your email address when you sign up for it. You know how it is. You put in your email, then you got to go to your email and say, yes, this is my email. That's how that works. So if you missed any of this, or if you haven't had a chance to sign up, go to yrchat.com/storylines, and I will reveal the project that I have been secretly working on for, just the past 5 years. Well, we didn't get the Aristotle Dumas reveal, but we did get Danny. And I am not going to complain about that. I think that Danny is lovely as ever. He is clearly hitting the hairspray hard these days. His hair was coiffed like a cloud. And oh my gosh, was he wearing eyeliner? Or do his eyes just do that naturally? He is such a freaking rock star. You know I love him. He is just so charming. And it really does just warm my heart to see he and Christine together at last. Just knowing that they're reunited brings me warmth in my heart. She is beautiful. I have to say it every time I see her, because it is always true. And I really loved that Phyllis had a chance to say to Christine this week, yeah, for a minute I thought you were the one who kidnapped me. Which is hilarious, because anybody who knows Christine, even the tiniest bit, knows that kidnappings aren't her style. And also, Phyllis has always hated Christine way more than Christine hates Phyllis. Christine only hates Phyllis because Phyllis hates Christine. But I also loved how single-minded Phyllis has been for weeks now about meeting Aristotle Dumas. Oh, this is gonna change her life. And then she takes one look at Danny and Christine practically having each other's hands in each other's back pockets at the coffee house. And Phyllis said, I'm second guessing my trip now. I don't want to go and leave Daniel alone with their influence. I don't want to let them have influence over him while I'm away. Oh my goodness, Phyllis. Poor Daniel. His mother is a shark. She wants to deny it, but it's true. But I also love that she put him in his place about being disrespectful toward her. So yeah, but I feel for Daniel, because you could tell that he was a little embarrassed about telling his dad that he had taken up playing the guitar. And to me, that makes so much sense. His dad is an international rock star, and him deciding to start playing the guitar is a lot of pressure when your dad is famous for it. And plus, you know, that's not, Daniel's reasons for doing it are not at all the same for Danny's reasons for doing it. Daniel sees playing the guitar as a place of peace and escape for him and creativity. And then one word from Phyllis and his cover is blown, and Danny's ready to pull him on stage for a rockin' father-son guitar duet. Oh, thank goodness Sharon did not have to forego the fabulous Parisian party to stay home and look after Mariah. I tell you what, I do not know whose secret is more infuriating, Mariah's or Aristotle Dumas's identity. No, actually, I do know which one of those is more infuriating. It's Aristotle Dumas, no contest. But I am also so freaking confused by Mariah's secret. First blush, thought it was an affair. I mean, even Sharon totally spilled Mariah's secret to Nick this week. Said she thought it was just a one-night stand. You know, no big deal. Just a one-night stand or whatever. Oh, Sharon. She thought it was just a one-night stand. That's great. That's great. But then Sharon told Nick that she actually thinks that whatever it is, it's much more traumatic than that. And then we saw this extended flashback of the bar scene where Mariah was looking flirty with this older guy, and then they touched hands. And then as soon as Mariah flashed out of that flashback, she bolted away from Tessa. She ran out of the park like a bat out of hell. She was gone. And then Tessa followed her to the coffee house, and Mariah just erupted on her right in public, right in front of everyone, right in front of Daniel, telling her to just back off. And then she ran away like a 5-year-old. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. So immature, so emotionally unavailable. It's so emotionally immature. I mean, even like, cause, I mean, okay, trauma, sure. But I don't know, handling it that way with someone who's loving you and trying to help you, it's just, it's not very enlightened. And then Mariah lied to Sharon and Nick, leading them to believe that everything was just fine between her and Tessa. Oh, they're talking. They've opened up a dialogue. Yeah, a dialogue that included her screaming and running away. Just color me confused. I don't know what's going on here. Did Mariah sleep with that guy? Or did she kill him? Or did she sleep with him and then kill him? And like, how much longer are we going to have to wait for a hint? Dang it. Can Y&R please reveal something next week? I need something. I am all for nostalgia, but I feel like I'm stuck in the 90s, tuning in every single day for a repeat of the same stuff and never getting anywhere until Sweeps Week. Gee, that Holden is a real smart guy. He really catches on quick. He was able to suss out the entire situation with Audra from 20 feet away while she was sitting at Victor Newman's table at the athletic club. As soon as she left the table, Holden immediately confronted her, saying, "Oh, are you working with Victor to seduce Kyle so that Victor can get revenge on Jack and then you get funding for Vibrante?" I thought, dang, this guy is good. He's a genius. Hire him. Dang. Can we get Holden on the mystery of who is Aristotle Dumas? He might be the only person who hasn't really weighed in on it. And he worked for him too. My goodness. Well, and I mean, Audra really did not appreciate that. She threatened him and then turned around, and then Holden flipped out on Damien. It's just, none of it really gels for me. I don't understand. Holden paints Damien like he's some kind of bad bunny boy who's always needing bailing out. And then at the same time, Damien is presenting himself like he's a good bunny boy to Lily. Just boing, boing, boing. This week he bought her a book that Neil used to own. One of Neil's favorites that accidentally got donated. The history of jazz. Annotated with Neil's handwritten notes in the pages, probably. It's like, wow, what a coincidence. It just can't be. None of it can be. Holden's growing disgruntledness toward Damien just makes me suspicious. It adds to my suspicion. And then the more perfect Damien is, the less I trust him. Audra better turn up her seduction game. She's trying, but she needs to turn it up a couple notches. She was talking to Kyle about staging this fake fight at the party, and I just loved that she said she'd rather do it with him than with his dad. I'd rather do it with you, Kyle. Yeah, Jack's the owner of the company, but we're selling sex here. That's what she said. We're selling sex here. And I thought, well, wait, I thought we were selling perfume. Sex is okay too. I just want to make sure I'm keeping up. Oh. And Jack agreed. He was like, yeah, no, I get it. I'm not sexy. No. That was so cute. That was the most enjoyable facet of all of that dialogue, you know. Jack accepting that, all right, maybe I'm not the sexiest face of Chabot anymore. And Diane disagreeing. Well, actually, at first, Kyle did not bite. Victor was watching that interaction go down the whole time, pretending to look at his phone. I love that move. He just is always pretending to look at his phone. And he floated up to Audra afterward and said, you're going to have to do better than that. You know, and I agree. You're just going to have to turn it up. But apparently it worked. It was just enough because Kyle went home and thought about it and decided, hey, why stay in Genoa City with my girlfriend and her sick dad when I can go to Nice and expedite my own downfall? I have to say, I think it's hilarious that Jack thought this whole thing was a great idea. He was totally on board for it. He was like, yeah, I mean, he knows what Victor's up to. He's completely pieced it all together. But he thinks, let's go ahead and do this. It's clearly a slam dunk for Chabot to get tangled up in this whole mess with Audra, knowing that Victor is actually behind it to break up Kyle and Claire. Diane was the only one who said, wait a minute, why are we giving Audra and Victor exactly what they want? But Jack argued that it was best to just let Kyle handle this. The one piece, though, that Jack doesn't know is that Kyle has already signed a deal with the devil. So this could definitely be Kyle's downfall. Who knows? It could be Jack's downfall. Billy made this great point in the week about the guest list to this party. Everybody except the Newmans is an enemy of the Newmans that got invited. The Abbotts, obviously enemies, but also the Winters, who are mad at Victor for screwing over Lily when it comes to Chancellor. So Billy is predicting that this party is going to be an ambush against Victor. But Victor has some plans of his own. He is thinking that he can turn Aristotle Dumas from an enemy into an ally and work together to bring down Jack Abbott. What a nice moment of wishful thinking that Chelsea could have figured out who Aristotle Dumas is one full day before we were supposed to. I really liked the conversation between Nikki and Chelsea this week because Chelsea, much like Claire, was asking Nikki's advice on how to change Victor's mind about going after Billy. Oh, Billy's just starting a little media company. He's clearly no threat to Newman Media. I don't understand, Chelsea. I don't understand why you're going out of your way. But Nikki basically told her, okay, changing Victor's mind is like changing the tide. Ain't gonna happen. Forget it. The best you can do is try to negotiate with him. Offer him something that he might want more than revenge on Billy. And then 5 seconds later, Chelsea thought she was able to figure out the mystery that everyone else has spent months trying to figure out. Tucker McCall. Aristotle Dumas has got to be Tucker McCall. Yes. But then Victor pulled the rug right out from under her by revealing that Tucker has apparently spent the last 6 months in a prison in India. And what I would like to know is, why is no one talking about this? Shouldn't we all be more concerned? Anyone? Devon? Ashley? Why doesn't Devon even commented on the fact that it could be Tucker? Didn't mention the prison thing, so clearly he doesn't know. I hope, really, really hope that whatever Tucker did to land himself in this prison in India was a legit crime. Because like maybe he was pretending to be a spiritual guru. I could see that. He was working some scam, fleecing people out of their money. I hope it's that, and not that he is lying there without a kidney or something. That would be gory. Especially since, okay, here's the thing. I think that's what really set me off. Even before the Friday the 13th reveal turned out to be a non-reveal, my one acceptable outcome for this whole Aristotle Dumas mystery would have been if at the end of all of this, Trevor St. John was returning as Tucker, a face that I already know is more of a shocking reveal to me than somebody who I don't know, who I have to be told is a recast, okay? But no, it's not that. Tucker's in prison. Y&R made sure to pop that bubble in advance. So, nice try, Chelsea, but go ahead and get in line for the big disappointment behind everybody else. You are ruthless. Who earned that line being said to them this week? You are ruthless. If you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to find out. Let's talk about fashion. Connie says, check out Diane's black shoes as she enters the mansion foyer or comes through the GCAC revolving door. Those multiple strap shoes are unique and too cute not to mention. Yes, I have to say, I did not see the shoes, but I did see all of the beautiful shopping bags, and I loved the moment of Diane coming through that beautiful new Abbott foyer door with all of her crazy shopping bags, Jack and Kyle rushing in like, oh, here, let us help you. I thought that was really fun. I also really liked Abby in the week saying something like, oh, well, if you don't want to carry all my luggage that I'm taking, I'll just go ahead and do all my shopping in Paris. That's just cute. It was funny. There were definitely moments of genuine cool anticipation. If it just hadn't been like stretched to the point of like, you know, limp. It's been stretched to the point where it's limp and it has no elasticity anymore. That's this storyline, stretched beyond elasticity. Yeah. Speaking of Abby, Naomi says, I loved Abby's travel outfit. Jeans and a button-up, sleeves rolled. Naomi. Oh, Abby. It was a palm tree button up. It had like little pink stripes and little palm trees. And you're right, sleeves are rolled up, light wash blue denim jeans, blue denim, like matching blue shirt, purse, white belt. She is always on point with her fashion. I mean, Abby felt like a vacation. Yes. But, oh, Sue W. says, I am now looking forward to the Dumas party, mostly for the women's wardrobes. I've been feeling for some time now that Y&R has new wardrobe staff, new costumers, and I know I'm late to the chat on this, but I was completely underwhelmed by most of the gals' dresses at Nikki's birthday party. Abby sported a chintzy nightie. Nikki's dress lines directed the eye to her chest. Sharon and Claire's outfits were just weird, and Ashley's, Victoria's, and whoever else's get-ups were lovely, but yawn, boring. Oh, you know, you're right, Sue W. And we've been talking about this, that just feels, they're definitely got a new costume designer. So there is definitely a change in the style on the show, and it's very distinct, and I could see either loving it or not loving it at all. So, yeah, but you do make a good point that I hadn't thought of. On top of the layer of who the heck Aristotle Dumas is, which I already know. I feel like I already know. It is going to be interesting to see what everyone is wearing at the party. We are definitely going to have some fashion to comment on next week. Let's just hope that's not the only thing we're commenting on next week. T. Nicole says, Billy seems too exhausting for Sally to be dating. Isn't this still supposed to be the new fun romantic stage of the relationship? And Sally is sucked into having the same boring conversation about keeping Billy on a leash. I still think Sally would have more fun with Daniel or Chance. Oh, T. Nicole, is Chance totally gone? He's gone, right? I mean, if Summer's gone, he's gone. But I agree. Daniel, ding, 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 ding. Sally and Daniel, they're the couple. I don't know why Y&R's not putting this together. Sally and Billy just sitting around all week. I'll let Gary say it. Gary says, Sally and Billy endlessly at the bar was deadly boring. That was such a wonderful real bit of dialogue, though, from Nikki to Chelsea, when Chelsea is wondering how Nikki copes with Victor. I don't get as worked up as I used to, she said. Well, she wouldn't. She couldn't at this point. Great bit of candor from her. And as I say, such a real frank statement from the weary, worn, but always great gifts from Victor. Yeah, Sally and Billy were definitely boring, but the conversation with Nikki and Chelsea was actually very good. Oh, speaking of Victor, Naomi says, Victor is using the last of my patience. If Adam doesn't ruin Billy, he's out of a job. If Audra doesn't ruin Kyle and Claire, she's out of a job. If Nikki fails to dismiss Jack as her friend, she will lose her title as my baby, and possibly her job. Cole and Michael are personas non gratas, but subject to recall into good graces if they play by his rules. Victor's love and protection comes at a price. No doubt about it. And on the topic of Cole, last week I asked you guys, is Cole a dead man? Can you believe this? 50-50. 50% say yes, dead man walking. Another 50% say no, he's still got a fighting chance. We're just going to have to see. Cole's not, it's another Dragama Outama. I mean, when are we going to find out? A month from now? Cole's not going to the party. Victoria and Claire are, I mean, we're going to be in France for the next 2 weeks, you know it. They're going to get Max out of this set and out of all of this. So, I mean, if it's taken this long to get there, we're going to be there for a while. So good luck finding out what's going on with Cole. That ain't happening. Same thing with Tessa and Mariah. T. Nicole says, I need Tessa to show more pushback to Mariah and not just use her soft voice at this point. Tessa needs to tell Mariah how things are going to be between them. Oh, that how things are going between them is not sustainable. And if Mariah will not talk to her or seek help in any way, then this situation can very well cause Mariah to lose Tessa and the family they have built together. I know, right? Tessa is being like too understanding. And I like, at first, the soft approach makes complete sense. You don't want to push too hard. You know, you want to respect your partner's boundaries. And I think she did a really good job of that at first. But we are definitely moving into the Tessa deserves some answers. Mariah is being unreasonable. We need to see Tessa push. Connie says, I like the idea of Nick stepping into a more fatherly role for Mariah as Cassie's twin, more than I do a Nick and Sharon reunion. Yeah, that was an interesting scene, and I noted that too, like, oh wow, we don't see a ton of scenes between Mariah and Nick these days, but yeah, I mean, Nick had this incredible connection with Cassie, and you know, he and Sharon were very much a family with her, and yet we don't really see Mariah and Nick together. So yeah, that was very notable, and they had a hug, and that was very cool, and in some ways, you're right, more emotionally engaging than the Nick and Sharon reunion, which just seems like it's there on paper at this point. And I don't feel it emotionally, but it's there on paper. Oh, hey, Gary says, will Mariah still be running from her secret at Christmas? If she isn't going to tell people, she shouldn't have brought it up. Amen. Yeah, I can't say it any better. Anything I say is just going to be repeating of the same. Russell says, Sharon would fall into the Mediterranean if she knew Nick was there to save her. Phyllis is so funny. That was so good. That was a really funny line. And you almost like see it. You can almost see Sharon throwing herself into the Mediterranean. Help me, Nick, help me. Victoria says, after watching the previews, Sharon and Phyllis are going to have severe trauma reliving their experiences with Martin. This is very cruel. I hope it's part of a fun escape room and nothing treacherous. Oh, you know, I didn't even connect that, not one little bit. You're right, that other preview had surveillance, and I thought, well, of course he's surveilling. This doesn't impress me. But I'll tell you what, Daisy takes that one step further. Daisy says, Alan may still be alive. I don't remember any official saying that Martin had died, so when Martin and Alan fell over the railing, maybe Martin ran off and Alan covered up for him saying he died. Being his twin, he always tried to protect him. Yeah, and that's interesting. The fact that there is that surveillance piece, especially after what Phyllis and Sharon went through, and like the sort of loose reasoning for Sharon being there, it does kind of make you wonder if there could be some kind of Martin/Alan connection. But boy, I don't know. I feel like my days of speculating on this are coming to an end. Hopefully. Naomi says, please don't have something bad happen to Damien in France. Amy got a chill down her spine when they said goodbye, so that can't be good. Yeah, I mean, I think that if Billy Flynn is indeed a recast of Kane using an alias of Aristotle Dumas, then that would track for why Amy got the chill down her spine. Amy was definitely talking with Damien about his feelings for Lily, and if we find out at the end of the day Lily and Damien are getting close, only for now Kane to come back, then yeah, that would, I mean, that could explain it. Russell says, Nate is blind if he can't see that Audra doesn't want him to be her +1. She again used sex to distract him, and again, it worked like a charm. Oh, poor Nate. Oh, poor hunky Nate. Man, I mean, every time I see that man on screen, it's like, and yet, he is the one person who is sitting alone at home while this whole party is going on. Audra just sex misted him. He can't even see that clearly she doesn't want him there because she's got her own agenda. He kind of knows Victor's got that something. He sort of vaguely feels like something's up, but he's not challenging her. She's just running right through him. That relationship is over. Ooh, Steven says, speaking with certainty that Tucker is jailed in India, what are the chances that Victor's bribe put him there? Bribes go both ways, however. Tucker may be at large and might be annoyed. Ooh, I love that, Stephen. I wish. Tucker not in jail, but actually at large. Well, Connie says possible clue in the case of Aristotle Dumas. Nick made a comment about drawing everyone away from Genoa City and leaving it vulnerable for a sneak attack. Maybe we should pay attention to who's staying behind. Ooh, that's pretty good. I hadn't really thought to give that too much weight. Yeah, so maybe Nate. Nate's the only one staying behind. Well, no, Victoria and Claire, they're dealing with Cole, but all the Abbotts are going. Yeah, I mean, very few staying behind. Oh, Gary's phone says that the current belief is still that Alex Dew is Kane Ashby, but to be played by a replacement actor. That would be such a shame with Daniel Goddard back in the business. I do believe he would have loved to come back as Kane. What happened? This is all so wrong. Right? I mean, okay, you recasted Kane at a time when Daniel Goddard's been away from soaps for all of this time, and he ends up popping back on General Hospital of all places at the same time where they're recasting Kane? Sue W says, if it's Kane played by a new actor, then big whoop. Not to being Kane, but to being so hyped up. A new Kane is basically a new character for viewers. So the build-up is pointless. Just make him a new person already. Sue W, I couldn't have said that better myself. A recast of an old character that hasn't been around for nearly a decade at this point is just as good as a new character. And all of this build-up toward a new character is just gonna be a letdown. It is a big whoop. And I kind of feel bad for Billy Flynn because he is in this position where the show is like, we're going to build it up, we're going to build it up, we're going to build it up. I mean, the news of him being cast on the show is months and months old at this point. And he's probably been waiting in the wings like, well, can't wait. And like, just in the meantime, Y&R stretched it out to the point of unrecognizable and unexciting. They overplayed their hand. And I feel bad for the actor because he's probably going to be really good. But at the same time, we're going to get past all of this. The bubble will pop and we'll be right back on board and he'll probably be great. So there's the positive spin for it. But the positive spin is not going to last long because we got some legit complaints this week. Sharon W says, I'm beginning to think recently the way Y&R has been missing the mark is by trying to have all of Genoa City in the Aristotle Dumas story. For 6 weeks, every character has tossed around his name, asked if anyone knew who he was, asking who was going to France to meet him at his party, etc., etc. Y&R used to give us approximately 3 stories a day, with certain characters that moved forward to fill out the entire week. Now, the repetitive dialogue is just Dumas' name, no real story at all. Friday's show was good, but it was a disappointment as it should have been earlier in the week, allowing us to finally see Dumas' face on Friday as the cliffhanger of the show. Yes. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I totally agree. I think that, I really like your analysis that it used to be like 3 separate stories in a week at any one time. So if you don't like this particular story, you might still have 2 others that are enough to pull you in to watch. They've made a big mistake by pulling everyone into this. It's the only sole focus and they haven't delivered on it. That's a really great comment. And you're right. Let me tell you right now, Friday rolls around. I have had it. The day is over. I'm out of the shower. I am ready to watch my Y&R. I flip on to Paramount Plus, and the icon that comes up is like Daniel's face at the coffee house. And I was immediately infuriated. Like, why am I at the coffee house today when I should be in France? And I kept waiting the whole episode. I'm like, gee, we're halfway through. Where's Dumas? Oh, we're not getting there. I'm not sure if this comment was Sharon W. or who. I forgot to write down the name. I'm really sorry. But it says, day after day, same old prep for France. Horrible. And chatters get out of sorts when somebody might dare to re-mention the Abbott House redo. When I pop Y&R on and see the headline banner of what will go down on today's episode, I groan. Oh no, not them, not that. I know. It's like, yeah, it's like seeing that icon. It's like, is anything gonna change? Anything gonna change? Victoria says, I love Y&R and have been watching mostly on since its beginning. I want to continue for many years going forward. The actors on the show are wonderful and elevate much of the material they are given. Just within the last few years, I felt we're given a few gotta see moments where I'm glued to my set. However, much of the episodes are a repeat of how characters feel or are trying to convince someone to listen or do what they want. I'll always continue to watch to see what's happening in GC. I hope the writers and the producers realize they're missing out on getting a new generation of viewers by not establishing varying ages on the show. I love Victor and Nikki, but there does not seem to be any younger legacy couples to take their place when they finally get those missed trips. My wish is for Y&R to give us younger characters who do something and create 2 or more legacy couples like Nick and Sharon, Kyle Summer, or Claire, but give us more to chat about. Yeah, Victoria, that's really an important point to make because Y&R is, I think, renewed through 2028 at this point, but they've got to realize that broadcasting on TV is probably not going to happen forever. I got to give CBS props for even starting a new soap in this day and age. I mean, I'm glad that's a really good sign, but Y&R really needs to get some younger viewers on, or get some younger viewers into the show. And I think that probably the best way to do that is to get some younger cast members. I mean, I love all of our current peeps, definitely. But if you look, Claire is probably the youngest cast member we have, and she is with Kyle, and yeah, I mean, they're definitely pumping up that relationship, but I really do think that's a strong point. If Y&R wants to continue to be on the air, they are going to have to get some younger storylines going, and they're going to have to move them along. Russell says, the writers need to focus and create scripts with real meaning and stop just filling time. I'm hoping things tighten up after the reveal. Watching them fill time with the same stuff day after day to just drop it all at once makes me feel like I'm wasting my time watching. I love the show and the characters, but ever since Jordan and Ian's stories wrapped, I've been frustrated. Yeah, Russell. I mean, I think that's the purveying feeling for the week, is just, it's all just a lot of the same. I think, but I also think, like, you know, we who like to comment on it weekly, probably, you know, that becomes like the we all kind of agree on that. I want to do a poll question this week that really calls upon people who haven't much commented on this or who aren't feeling that way. I'm wondering if you guys think that Y&R needs to pick up the pace right now. I've had several, you know, lengthy and thoughtful comments from people this week saying the show's slow. I love the show, but it's slow. So I want to know if that's how everybody feels or if that's more just us vocal majority, because it's certainly how I feel. I know how I'm going to vote. But I'm putting a poll this week at yrchat.com. Do you think Y&R needs to pick up the pace here? Are you happy with the pacing of the show? Or do you think something needs to change? yrchat.com to cast your vote. Stephen has an interesting perspective here, saying, Chris Booker correctly argued that there are only 7 basic plot points, forcing Y&R into endless repetition. So I looked this up, Stephen, because I had not heard of Christopher Booker. He is apparently a British author and journalist who is known for his influential book, The 7 Basic Plots, Why We Tell Stories. I think this is very, very interesting because in the book, Booker argues that virtually all stories follow one of 7 basic narrative archetypes. 1, overcoming the monster. 2, rags to riches. 3, the quest. 4, voyage and return. 5, comedy. 6, tragedy. And 7, rebirth. So that's a really interesting perspective, Stephen. Just the idea that, well, there's only a certain number of different, actually unique plots that can be told, and Y&R has been on the air for 50 years. So clearly we're going to view a lot of it as being recycled. But I would also argue that there are a myriad of different ways within those 7 archetypes to structure some new and fresh material. And, you know, maybe Y&R needs some fresh ideas in there. Maybe it's not even as much that they need younger viewers, or sorry, younger characters on screen. Maybe they need some younger folks on the writing team to bring some fresh ideas. You know, with every new generation comes a different set of ideas, things that they've been through, experiences, whatever, and maybe that could add some freshness to the show. Russell says, I wish we had a count of how many times Dumas' name has been mentioned since the first. Russell, I was wondering this too, but although I would not be able to possibly answer the number of times that we've heard the name Dumas, I can give you a timeline, and I think it will surprise you. Believe it or not, the first mentions of Aristotle Dumas came out in late 2024. It is June 2025. We started hearing hints from Y&R recaps and going back into fan commentary. The name Aristotle Dumas began casually being dropped in Genoa City in late 2024. Now, by March 2025, the name was starting to pop up a lot more and become focus of the episodes. So if we're counting just from March, when it was like, you know, Aristotle Dumas, the focus of like a ton of attention, it's been 10 and a half weeks total, which is easily over 2 months. But if we're counting from the first clear mention of Aristotle Dumas in late 2024, then Y&R is approaching 6 to 8 months of stretching out this reveal. And if I am sitting here next week at this time, still talking about how awesome, you know, that, you know, the whole thing, if I am not sitting here talking about the awesomeness of the reveal, or at least feeling relieved that the reveal has happened after 6 to 8 months, then I think I might just throw myself off that train and into the tracks. Y&R fans want classic, but they want fresh takes on the classics. That's what I think anyway. That's how I feel. I loved the outline of the 7 classic storyline types, because there's so much to be done within all of those. But what we need is a fresh twist. What we need is to keep it moving. But I have got something for you, Y&R chatters. And if you want to know what it is before everybody else, go to yrchat.com/storylines. You can sign up and I will email you guys on Tuesday. Just a nice little early week reveal. A little something to give you a boost, because you know darn well we're not getting to the maze till the end of the week. It'll be next Friday before they reveal Billy Flynn's face as Kane, as the new Kane. So it could be a slog through the week, although I don't know. There's going to be outfits and sets and stuff, and I will say Y&R has heard that. They have heard us say we love our sets. They have delivered sets. They have heard us talking about fashion week after week. They have upped the fashion game. But we have got to get the story there. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, go to yrchat.com this week. Vote in that poll. Tell me if you're feeling what I'm feeling, what some of the others who have commented on, us feeling, that the pacing is slow. Do you feel that way? Or is it just me? Is it like existing in this, I don't know, kind of collective, Y&R Chat, consciousness or whatever. But from those of you guys who don't normally comment, I want to know if you're feeling this too, so I know whether or not it's real. YRChat.com, that's where to go. I hope that you guys all have a good week. I hope that this reveal comes by Friday. Come back next Sunday and we will talk about it, good or bad. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.